This is Dr. Henri Colt, and this presentation is part of Bronchoscopy Academy, an ongoing competency-based curriculum in flexible bronchoscopy. The goal of this work is to improve procedural understanding, anatomical recognition, and clinical judgment, while helping reduce patient suffering associated with unequal expertise and inconsistent training. In this lecture, we will review the practical techniques used to perform transbronchial lung biopsy, including approaches with and without fluoroscopic guidance, methods for obtaining representative tissue safely, and technical principles that improve diagnostic yield while minimizing complications. Transbronchial lung biopsy is fundamentally a procedure of precision. The objective is not simply to obtain tissue, but to obtain representative lung parenchyma while avoiding injury to larger blood vessels and the pleura. Every movement of the bronchoscope and biopsy forceps should therefore be deliberate, controlled, and reproducible. As with many bronchoscopic procedures, successful technique develops through repeated practice combined with careful attention to anatomy. Although fluoroscopy is commonly used today, transbronchial biopsy can be performed safely without it. The procedure relies on tactile feedback. The biopsy forceps are advanced gently until slight resistance is encountered, indicating that the forceps have reached the peripheral lung. If significant resistance or pain occurs, the operator should withdraw slightly before proceeding. Excessive advancement increases the risk of entering the pleural space and causing pneumothorax. The forceps are then opened, advanced only a small additional distance, closed firmly, and withdrawn with a short, decisive motion. Importantly, the bronchoscope itself remains wedged in position throughout the maneuver. This maintains airway control and provides immediate tamponade should bleeding occur. Videos demonstrating these techniques are available on this YouTube channel. Representative specimens are obtained because the forceps grasp and gently tear respiratory bronchioles and adjacent alveolar tissue. This explains why forceps position is so important. If the forceps remain too proximal, the specimen may consist primarily of bronchial mucosa, reducing diagnostic value while increasing the likelihood of bleeding. If they extend too far toward the pleura, pneumothorax becomes more likely. The operator is therefore constantly balancing diagnostic yield against procedural safety. Fluoroscopy provides an additional level of confidence by allowing visualization of forceps position within the lung. Whether biopsying the lower lobes, upper lobes, or lingula, fluoroscopy helps the bronchoscopist identify the target segment, estimate the distance from the pleural surface, and confirm appropriate positioning before tissue is obtained. It also allows sampling of specific radiographic abnormalities that might otherwise be difficult to reach. As experience grows, operators frequently spend less time looking through the bronchoscope and more time observing the fluoroscopic image while maintaining a stable wedge position. Fluoroscopy can be performed using a mobile C-arm with the patient either supine or partially upright. Before beginning bronchoscopy, the imaging equipment should already be positioned and tested so that procedural flow is not interrupted. Once the bronchoscope is wedged within the desired bronchus, the assistant advances the biopsy forceps while the bronchoscopist observes their progression fluoroscopically. Multiple adjacent segments can be sampled efficiently by redirecting the forceps without repeatedly repositioning the bronchoscope. This approach minimizes unnecessary manipulation while maximizing procedural efficiency. Fluoroscopy is especially valuable in patients with focal pulmonary disease. It facilitates localization of solitary nodules, focal infiltrates, and foreign bodies while helping ensure that biopsies are obtained from the intended region. Not everyone in the world has access to navigational equipment or robotics. Because the relationship between the forceps and pleura can be seen directly, fluoroscopy may also reduce operator uncertainty and improve overall confidence during the procedure. These advantages explain why fluoroscopy remains widely used despite other advances in modern imaging. An important question is whether fluoroscopy is really required for every transbronchial lung biopsy. This question was addressed decades ago, and the answer is no. Multiple clinical studies have demonstrated that experienced bronchoscopists can safely perform transbronchial biopsy without fluoroscopy in selected patients. Historically, fluoroscopy appeared to improve diagnostic yield, primarily for focal lesions, particularly before high-resolution computed tomography became widely available. Today, modern CT imaging provides detailed anatomical information that helps operators plan biopsies, even when fluoroscopy is unavailable. Thus, fluoroscopy can be viewed as an important tool rather than an absolute requirement. Large prospective studies demonstrate that transbronchial lung biopsy remains a relatively safe procedure when performed appropriately. Across tens of thousands of reported cases, pneumothorax occurs in only a small percentage of patients. Significant bleeding is uncommon, and mortality is extremely rare. These reassuring statistics reflect improvements in patient selection, operator training, equipment, and procedural technique over several decades. Nevertheless, every biopsy should be approached with the expectation that complications remain possible and that immediate management may become necessary. The reason older data from older studies are shown in these slides is so that a younger generation can see that many questions asked today have been asked before and probably have been adequately answered, and that most results from older studies have been duplicated by more recent findings. Traditionally, many centers obtained routine chest radiographs after every transbronchial lung biopsy. Evidence suggests this is often unnecessary. When fluoroscopy is used, the lungs can usually be examined immediately after the procedure for evidence of pneumothorax. Moreover, most clinically significant pneumothoraces become symptomatic shortly after biopsy. The question was answered long ago. Studies have shown that routine chest radiographs rarely detect clinically important pneumothoraces in asymptomatic patients. Accordingly, many institutions now reserve post-procedure chest radiographs for patients who develop chest pain, dyspnea, hypoxemia, or other concerning symptoms. Clinical observation can remain as important as imaging. Successful transbronchial lung biopsy depends on mastering a series of deliberate technical steps. The bronchoscope should remain stable, forceps advancement should be gentle and controlled, and biopsy specimens should be obtained from the peripheral lung while avoiding excessive proximity to the pleura. When asking the assistant to open and close forceps, these are indeed the words that can be used: open forceps, close forceps, and not aggressive words such as bite. Fluoroscopy provides valuable guidance in many situations, particularly for focal disease, but excellent results can also be achieved without it, when operators possess sufficient experience and understand pulmonary anatomy. Ultimately, good technique reflects preparation, judgment, and consistency rather than speed. Bronchoscopy Academy is part of an ongoing competency-based approach to bronchoscopy education. Our goal is to reduce patient suffering caused by unequal procedural expertise, inconsistent training, and preventable error. Additional educational resources, reflective essays, and narrated lectures are available at bronchoscopy.org and enricolt.substack.com.